What's up, everybody? It's your boy DTLF back with another episode of Beyond Sports. Man, how's everybody doing today? Happy Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you guys are spending wonderful time with your family, quality time. And major shout out to all the veterans or anybody who ever gave their life for this country, man. Shout out to them, man. They fight for our freedom, so definitely got to appreciate that. Um, but how's everybody doing? Listen, it was a tough weekend. I mean, it was obviously awesome. Got to spend time with my family and all that. But it was tough, man, watching the Miami Heat lose that game 6 at home to the Boston Celtics on a putback, on a buzzer beater layup putback by oh my goodness, man. Like that's by a role player. Like that's tough. That's always tough to stomach. I can only imagine how actual Heat fans felt. If me as a Laker fan felt that horrible, I can only imagine how Heat fans felt. So thank God it wasn't my Lakers. I was on the losing side of a game like that. But still, man, the luck of the Irish, man. I cannot believe those stupid Celtics, man, have continued to fight for their lives. And today they go to game 7, man, where obviously, they have all the momentum. But you know what? I believe. I believe in Jimmy Buckets. I believe if anybody can rip the hearts out of Boston and put smiles on Laker fans' faces, it is Jimmy Buckets, man. So it's a shame that they've lost 3 in a row, but you know what? He started heating up towards the end of that game and almost put that one away. So hopefully he can put this one away. It's going to be extremely tough. Obviously, the Celtics, they have all the momentum in the world, but there's a way, and they got to, that self doubt has to be hammered out. Can I have this self doubt? Which is what the episode is going to be about today. But obviously, right now, like I said, they got to take out all the self doubt from their minds. Matter of fact, Miami has already booked a flight to Denver for Thursday's game 1 to the final. So I like that. I like that right. That's good strategy. That is good, obviously good psychology by the team by saying, you know what, we're putting our money where our mouth is. We're going to close out this series and we're going to make sure we book the flight ahead of time to send a message. I liked it a lot. But how you guys doing today, man? Hopefully everybody's doing great, man. A lot of stuff going on, a lot of rumors, a lot of crazy things going on in the NBA, man. My boy Joseph, appreciate the cash app. My guy said prime Dwight Howard or prime Jokic. Ooh. I love Dwight, and he was able to shut down Jokic at one point. But if we're talking about all around skill set, man, much as I love Dwight, I got to keep it real with the game of basketball, and it's got to be the Joker. Right? I hate to pick him, especially after they beat us. But let's be real, man. Joker's very skilled. He showed he could at least hold his own defensively, and this dude could do everything well. I mean, he was shooting, teardrops from the 3-point shot. I can't believe the shots that went in. But hey, what up, K? He said, what's up, man? Got done balling. That's what's up. Hey, shout out to WSN, man. He came all the way out from Long Beach to the IE to hoop with your boy yesterday with me and my family. So that was pretty cool, man. Always meeting you guys is a pleasure, and it's always a blast to hoop and ball up and just kick it. Listen, today's game is going to be all about resiliency, how resilient that the Miami Heat can be, and there cannot be any self-doubt in their minds. Even though they lost 3 in a row, they have to believe that they can get stuff done, right? I think that's the biggest key, in this series, period. Dan, did you see what LeBron posted on his Instagram story? Yes, I did. Yes, I did, man. Listen, what he posted, I believe were Jay-Z lyrics, right? And we all know LeBron wants to be loved by everybody, but any GOAT, any GOAT in the history of time, whether it's Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James, is always going to have hate and is always going to have doubters out there. You got to embrace yourself. That's what LeBron's doing. I see nothing wrong with that. Is he my number one? No, but he's my number 2 for sure. Everybody knows what my number 1 is. He's a Black Mamba, right? But it's up for debate. It's always going to be up for debate. The GOAT conversation is always up for debate. It never closes. That's the crazy thing about the GOAT debate, right? Even when LeBron retires, a new generation, a new wave of superstars will come in, and eventually one of them might be lucky enough to get tossed into the GOAT conversation, right? So that's one of those things, man. My boy, he said, VA to LA, one love, brother Dan, just giving you some flowers. Appreciate you, bro. He said, we all love the Lakers, but this is bigger than rap. You're bringing human beings together and together in such a effed up world. Keep up the great work. I appreciate you, Pyro. Thank you, man. Hey, I appreciate the love anytime, man. Flowers are welcome at all times. Listen, I'll give y'all your flowers because even in the off season, you guys have been very supportive, and I appreciate that, man. It keeps me going. It keeps me fueled and pumped for the next content. By the way, I will be dropping top 5 picks with the 17 pick draft video tomorrow on what are 5 players that I believe are going to be steals if they slip down to the Lakers and they scoop them up. So look forward to that video. I'm not sure if I'll drop it in the afternoon or in the early morning, but I've been putting in the work. I've been scouting, guys. I don't just pump out content to pump out content. So this is why it took me a couple of days after the season ended. But it's gonna be worth the wait. And you guys know I'm pretty keen on this stuff, man. I've scouted people like Malik Monk with late first round picks in the past. I've scouted people like Jalen Brunson. We made a couple of good predictions on this channel. So I look forward to hopefully nailing some more. All right, now we got to talk about the topic at hand before I answer any more questions, man. Let me get into this really quick. Let me get my notes prepared here. All right, self-doubt, man. And I think this is an important one right here. And listen, for me, I believe self-doubt is everyone's biggest obstacle in life. Truly. Like, it's one of the main reasons people's dreams never actually take off, man. And again, like I said, Miami cannot have any self-doubt if they want to win that series, Game 7 tonight. But it applies to everyone in life. Listen, if you believe in yourself, right? If you don't believe in yourself, should I say, if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Right? Like in order to accomplish anything, the belief starts with you. You got to hammer out that self-doubt. You got to remove that from your vocabulary. There should be no doubts about who you are as a person. No matter what you do, what profession, what hobbies, what sort of skills, personal training, anything you do, got to remove them self-doubt from your head, man. For me, my own personal growth as a whole, like, listen, everybody goes through it at some point in life, right? But in order to get anywhere in life, to be successful, to be the best version that you can be, you have to remove that self-doubt, and you have to be your number one believer. You not only do you have to remove the self-doubt, you got to be your biggest fan, right? Like, if you don't have, I wouldn't say an ego, but kind of, right? You have to have somewhat of an ego in order to but still, it's like a fine balance between feeding your ego and staying humble. It always is, right? So you got to remove self-doubt, then you got to build that confidence. You got to believe it before you can achieve it. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth, man. I've experienced that personally in my life. People don't know a lot of things about me, man, but I've done so many things, man. I've even modeled at a younger age. God is my witness. My family watching is my witness. There was a girl who at the time I liked at the mall. She came up to me and my cousins and told us we had the height and the looks to model if we wanted to try out. They had something called Model Productions right here in the Ontario Mills Mall. And I'm like, I'm no damn model. I don't even like that stuff, right? But she encouraged me, and I was like, you know what? If she believes I can do it, I believe I can do it. Why not? Let's experience something new. Ended up winning a 1-year contract. Never really pursued it, but I kind of just did it to see how far I can go, and obviously to prove it to the young lady that I could do it. Prove her right. And so, I actually modeled, and I did a talent show, right? We did the catwalk and everything, man. Ridiculous, I know. Not my style, but I did it anyways. Sometimes you got to get out of your comfort zone, but you got to believe in yourself, fam. I've done everything. I've been in a band. I've been in groups. I was in a band where I used to sing and rap, and we recorded in a studio in Hollywood that my brother introduced us to. So shout out to him. Done everything that you possibly can imagine in life before I landed on this channel and found my niche. But in life, if you don't believe in yourself, you don't get nowhere. And everything I did, I always threw myself into that 150%, right? So that's how I was able to accomplish a lot of things in my personal life. So I'm just trying to pass it down to y'all, man, and let y'all know that you got to be your number one biggest fan. I was a cocky young sucker, man. I had a lot of swagger about myself when I was, growing up. I still do. Everybody who goes to hoop with me every weekend knows that, because I talk the most and I back it up. I had 3 game winners this weekend, so I back it up, man. But again, got to be your number one biggest fan. Another thing, man, nothing happens by accident, y'all, at all. Nothing, right? Nothing in life that you achieve happens by accident. Everything has a purpose, and all has to be a part of the bigger plan in order to for it to come to fruition, right? So not only do you have to not doubt yourself, that's the number one step. Number two is you got to be your biggest fan and believe in yourself. Truly believe it. Don't just say it, but believe it in here. Install it in your brain that you're gonna be the next best whatever. Whatever you want to be, you're gonna be the next best thing, right? Once you put that there and you actually start acting towards that and you start planning towards it and you start strategizing and you start practicing towards that, whatever the case may be, that is when you start to see results, right? So not only are you your biggest fan, now you got to plan it out. You got to believe it that you have to have a master plan, right? And so in order to see that plan come to fruition, you have to execute it, right? Now, and let's use this as an advice, right? Let's take a movie script, for example, right? A movie has to be written, it has to be pitched, it has to be approved by the studios, and then you have to look for the fitting actors, the directors, right? And then everything has to be executed properly or as close to the vision as possible, right? But it starts with a vision and a belief, right? Whoever wrote the script, that is the creator. That's the one who believed and saw the vision and foresaw everything before it came to fruition. No matter what your favorite movie franchise is, it had to be believed in. It had to be, pitched. And you can't pitch something if you don't believe in it, right? It had to be executed to perfection until we got the final product, right? Whatever movie you saw this summer or starting to see, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was great. That's a perfect example. You know, they really had to visualize that whole thing, right? So again, just like in the movies, man, it starts with belief and then no doubt at all. I'm sure at some point these people had doubt, but they hammered it out and they executed and they got down to the nitty gritty. That's what you got to do in life, right? And everything in life, right? We must remove any self doubt for there to be any success at all. If you're your biggest critic, it's one thing to be a perfectionist, but it's another thing to be a pessimist. There's a fine line you got to walk with that. I'm a perfectionist myself. When I do music, it takes me days, hours. Sometimes it takes me months. It's even taken me years to release tracks. So it's okay to be a perfectionist. But one thing I always did was believe in myself, right? Now, like I said, I'm sure self-doubt has crept into your mind. It definitely has into mine before I got rid of it and actually was able to execute. Nobody is perfect. But like my man, Kobe Bryant, aka the Black Mamba, once said, man, we must chase perfection, right? Because that's how you reach greatness, right? And I don't remember the exact quote, but I do remember that he said that most people don't even try to chase greatness because they get lazy, right? So if you're chasing greatness, he used to practice 3 to 4 times a day, while most don't even practice 3 to 4 times a week. So imagine how much more advanced he was in all of this, right? Um, Imagine how much confidence he had in himself. He said it. He said it in the past as well. No matter how many times you thought that was a pressure situation for me, he said, I had practiced it a million times, so it was second nature to him to come up clutch in those moments, right? And this is when I think of Anthony Davis, I think this is what he has to do. He has to chase perfection. I feel like he has gotten into a comfort zone after we traded for him and he got that championship. I feel like he got really comfortable. This is why LeBron was the first one in the gym, and he's 38. Meanwhile, Anthony Davis is 30, and he's arriving at the same time as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? You have to be ahead of the curve, man. And it's a lot of things here. If you guys have any questions for me on self-doubt, if you guys have any comments, I will read them now. But yeah, I definitely wanted to bring this episode to your guys' attention because I see that there's a lot of self-doubt. Even amongst peers and family members and loved ones, I tell them all the time. My little nephew, he's a hooper. Shout out to him. He just picked up ball last year, and he's gotten so much better, man. They were calling him Austin Reeves the other day because he was smacking shots everywhere. He's learning from me, from his pops, and from every adult that could give him advice. And he listens, right? It might take him a little bit to grasp the concept, but eventually that self-doubt is going to start removing from his brain, and he's going to start believing in himself. And that's when the confidence grows. And that's when the work ethic grows. Because let's be honest, right? Nobody gets better overnight. It doesn't. It takes time. Chasing perfection takes time. It takes effort. It takes repetitiveness. It takes work ethic. But when you start seeing results, I feel like that's the final push to get you over the hump. That gets you over the top right there. Once you start seeing those results, for example, me and the YouTube channel, there were times where I didn't want to go live. I wasn't in the mood because my team lost or because, but then I pushed through. I said, what would Kobe do? He will push through everything, right? Boom. I show up, I see results. Subscriber count raised, you know, the love y'all shared on this channel raised, the awareness, the name grew, the brand grew. Why? Because I pushed through it, right? There's a threshold. And once you push through it and you start seeing results, you're like, I'm never missing another game on my own will again, right? So that's what you got to do. And yeah, Mamba mentality, Pyro, absolutely, bro. We all have it. We just got to dig down deep, my guy. We have to dig down deep and we have to pull it out of ourselves. We're all capable of greatness. Yeah, even the potato couch surfing, potato chip eating, lazy scrub out there can start getting rid of bad habits and start working towards his goals. Anybody could. So I appreciate y'all, man. Uh Disciple George said, self doubt means you aren't confident in yourself. Let's take Anthony Davis, for instance. He doubts that he can be dominant in the paint. It's a mental thing. It could be, but I'm not going to try to play shrink. I used him as an example in the sense that the work ethic, right? That needs to increase because if he wants to be a leader in a team, he needs to show it by example. Kobe Bryant would. LeBron does, right? Even at 38. So, gotta hammer it out, man. There's so many obstacles in life, and self-doubt to me is one of the biggest ones. Listen, when you want to start a business, what creeps into your mind? Be real. If you ever wanted to start a business or anything, what if it doesn't do good? What if my money goes to waste? What if my time goes to waste? What if the economy is so bad it won't take off? What if all these negatives start creeping into your mind, and eventually you put that idea away, right? Now, if you really wanted it, those what ifs, nothing, it wouldn't stop you. It wouldn't be none but bumps on the road, and you smoothing out those bumps, and now they're not there anymore. You see what I mean? So, what if you're passing up on a multi-million-dollar business because you were too lazy to even give it a try, right? To even test the market, to even try something out. So, life is not going to change if you're too afraid to make it change, right? Self doubt is your worst enemy. I guarantee you. Self doubt is worse than others doubting you because at least when others doubt you, you can use their fuel to your fire. You can use it as a motivation to, to burn that passionate flame. Lord knows I have, and to propel you even further along. But when you doubt yourself, when you're your biggest critic, your biggest hater, and you don't believe, how are you going to sell the product? How are you going to push forward? How are you going to get others to believe in you, right? A lot of people tell me, oh man, I want to be a rapper. And I'll be like, right. A year goes by, nothing. I'm willing to help them get in the studio. My friends, I'm talking about. And then I hear it again. Oh man, I want to get in the studio. Write something then. Another week passes, a month, nothing happens. So again, self-doubt. I don't know what could be holding them back, but where there's a will, there's a way, right? My guy Roy said, Dan, self-doubt becomes an obstacle to your true self. Facts. He said you can reach your goals with confidence and perseverance and consistency. Remember this, man. Failing is a part of growth. Failure is a part of success. You cannot succeed without failing, right? I know a lot of people that used to work for people learned the business and started their own business. But I'm sure when they started out, they had to fail a little bit, right? They failed. Maybe at first it wasn't going that well. They switched up a couple of things about it and then eventually started kicking off, right? Through anything in life, there's going to be failures. Some are lucky enough that they'll avoid the initial failures, but those failures will come later in life, right? So it's not about not failing, right? But it's about learning from those failures and getting better so that you can overcome those failures and still succeed. You see what I mean? So again, I could write a book about my life because I've been through so many experiences. I didn't have guns pointed at my face. I didn't, like I said, got in an accident where I was sued for $1 million. I went to hell and back, man. I lost good friends, close family members, and I'm still here. Listen, they bring out the hammer, but I'm like that crooked nail. You can't hammer me down. You know what I'm saying? I keep going sideways and dodging the hits, right? You can't hammer me down, right? You can't. I'm too persistent. You can try. My haters can try. They created 1,000 accounts already. I didn't block so many accounts, and it's always the same. You know, their IQ so low, they're wasting their time. While I'm being productive, they're watching me succeed while they fail. Right. So instead of learning from greatness and taking that and applying it to their lives, they're hating on me, wasting their time, and only motivating me more. Right. Self doubt. Remove it from your life, no matter what it is. Listen, if there's a girl out there that you have been planning on talking to, and you have self doubt in your heart, your best friend's probably going to swoop in before you even know it, or somebody else, right? And chances are you would have had a chance if you had confidence, right? Girls love confidence, by the way. Men do too. Men love a confident woman. So you're holding yourself back, and you're going to be hurt later on when you see somebody else that's probably, I don't want to use the word ugly because I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but somebody else who probably doesn't look as good as you, or probably doesn't have the swagger you do, or probably doesn't have everything to offer that you would to that significant other or that person. They're going to swoop in like Superman. Captain Save-A-Ho is going to come in here and take your girl because you had self-doubt. It's going to feel like shit, man. It's going to feel like shit. So don't do it. Don't do it to yourself, fam. Do not do it. Remove that self-doubt, that little demon in your head that keeps holding you back. Get his ass out of there. Evacuate his ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, put him out on the streets, and you're going to see your life just take off. It's crazy. It really is crazy, man. RC, my guy said, Dan, I've learned when it comes to starting a business and having big goals, I've learned tell people in very, very minimum numbers or tell no one at all. That's another good thing, because the more people you tell, the more chances of somebody stealing your idea or some hater starting to manifest some sort of negative energy that's going to get in your way. Sometimes it be your own people, man, that put you down. I promise. So, yeah, listen, if you got a plan, keep it to yourself. But that confidence and that exuberance will propel you forward, right? And everybody will see a star when they know it, right? They will see it. My mom always told me I was going to be special since I was a young kid. Real talk. Social workers trying to take me away from her because I was so smart when I was a kid. That scares me, even thinking about that, right? My mom told me a story one time, man, that I don't remember why social workers came through, but basically they were like, "Oh, we could take that kid away from you, or something like that, because he's so smart. He needs to uh, be in a better place, or something like that." It was a weird story, but it's a true story, man. And everybody can see something special in you when you have it, but you don't develop that overnight. Some people do. Some people are born with it. I mean, some people are just greatness as soon as they came out the womb. Serena Williams, you know what I'm saying? But they still work. And remember, hard work beats out talent most of the times, right? If you got a lazy, talented individual, and you got a hard working over here on the side, right? That person is going to win 60% of the time. Now, if you combine the talent plus the work ethic, magic, ladies and gentlemen, magic. It's just crazy how good it is when people put pen to paper and get to work. Appreciate you, Tasia. Thank you. Good to see you. My guy Craig with some words of advice here. Golden advice, by the way. I learned from you guys as well. Craig said, you just have to have a short memory when you fail. Take action in life. Yeah, you know what? That might be a good advice as well. You get rejected by somebody, you don't linger on it. You move on to the next thing, right? There's always somebody out there for everybody, right? Yeah, that's the way life is. There's going to be failure everywhere. Michael said, DTLF is a great example of grinding and getting your goal regardless of the haters. I appreciate that. And I'm still not where I want to be, Michael. I'm still miles and miles away from where I want to be, right? Thousands of miles. I'm trying to be at 1 million subs. I'm trying to be somewhere where I can inspire and help others with my platform. I'm trying to be somewhere where I really feel like, okay, I've made it. But you got to always keep that hunger, because the moment you relax is the moment you start falling off. I'm always hungry. I'm always hungry to give you guys content. I'm hungry to make music. I'm hungry to go hoop every weekend with my boys, to try to get back in shape. Got to stay hungry, man, no matter what you do. Remember that. But yeah, Self-doubt is your biggest enemy. I promise you. It'll stop you from getting the girl you want, from purchasing the house you want, from getting the job you want, from starting the career path that you want, from everything. Literally, man. Self-doubt is your biggest enemy. You know what? I was in elementary school when I lost self-doubt. When I finally shook it, right? I was in elementary school. I remember there was a girl I used to like, and I never hit her up. It was like in sixth grade, I think, or fifth grade. And then we got to middle school, and then she was dating some guy, but we were still friends, right? I was, I guess, friend zoned or whatever. But I never hit her up. I never thought I could get her. And then one day she confessed, she's like, I always thought you were gonna ask me out in elementary school. And I was like, would you have gone out with me? She was like, oh yeah, I had a big crush on you. Moment changer, right? That blew my mind. That was the moment I said, never again will I hold back at anything in life. Nothing. And from that moment, if I wanted it, I grabbed it, right? From that moment on, I surprised, shocked, and impressed my own self, because I have a higher standard for myself. So people usually don't impress me, right? Unless they do something really spectacular, really amazing. I've seen it all. But when I can impress myself, that's when I know I'm doing something right. And I rarely impress myself. I work so hard, I do this, I do that. But it gotta be special, man. It gotta be special. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have really high standards, man, for myself. And so you have to, like, don't never settle in life either, right? Christian said, you on the way, Dan. Appreciate you, bro. You on the way too. By the way, again, major shout out to Christian. Look at these awesome graphics, man. Graphic designer, my boy, man. Listen, your talent, bro. Big bucks. Big, and it is in high demand. It is in high demand, man, at all times. Content creators, you know, national media. I'm sure you can get a job anywhere, man, with the way you out here grinding. But hey, I'm impressed. Now you're one of the few people that has impressed me with the graphics. And you know what's crazy? I never ask him for anything. This man just, he sees that I'm posting a video and he gives me the graphics, man. I don't know what I did to deserve such a kind friend, but he truly hooks me up, and I appreciate you, bro. It's gonna get paid back times 10, I promise. Here we go. Everything Lakers, my guy. He said, Dan, I realize how important education is for me, but I constantly have lapses where I just zone out and never have the goal clear in sight. He said, what advice would you give me to keep that goal in sight? Well, for me personally, I can use my own example, man. I'm the type of guy that when I start something, I love to finish it. I hate leaving stuff open-ended, right? So that's my advice for you is when you start something, make sure you finish it. That way your goal can always be in clear sight. Don't put too much on your plate, because if you do that, you're going to overwhelm yourself, and that's how you lose track of the main goals in life. That's a great question. I'm sure we could all apply these things to our life. Listen, education is very important, right? I love reading. That's something maybe people won't know about me. I love reading. Mostly sport articles and stuff like that, but self-help books have been like amazing. Self-help books, and none come to mind right now, but I've read a couple, and I'll tell you, man, I used to think they were gimmicky. Then I went to Barnes and Nobles, got myself a couple of them, and boy, do they help you, right? Because education is key, man. Knowledge is power, right? I went to RCC. I went to college right here. I took a Pro Tools MIDI class. I never finished the class, right? Obviously, I was broke, needed to get a job and other stuff, right? But I took a class. And did I learn anything from that class? No. Point of the story is that I learned more from experience. Some people learn from doing, and some people learn from listening. I'm a doer, right? So I had people come into my studio. Shout out to my boy Seth. You know, I had people come in here and teach me, and I'm a quick learner. Like, all I had to do is see it once, and then they were impressed. They're like, damn, you learned. They would see me produce a whole track, right? Vocals and everything the next time they came around. So I learned from watching them. And that's the type of learner I am. But yeah, knowledge is key, man. Always ask questions. Kobe Bryant used to do it all the time. I learned from him, right? He asked Michael Jordan. He wasn't too prideful. And they probably thought he was annoying at some point, but he has MJ, Scottie Pippen, he has Gary Payton on the defensive end. He has everybody about the game of basketball. That was his profession. That's what he dedicated himself to. Ask questions, man. Don't pretend to be a know-it-all. As soon as you think you know it all, you know nothing at all, right? We never stop learning. I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80, 90, you never can stop learning. Life is an open book, right? And you got to keep turning the page, keep turning the page. The moment you stop learning, it's the moment you limit yourself. So yeah, knowledge is key. I love that comment, by the way. Um, yes, love this one as well. Yep, don't rest in the middle, rest in the end. Kobe, before he passed, God rest his soul, man. He left us so many gems, and I've been watching him a lot more now because I have the strength to watch him. At first, I couldn't, man. I was too hurt after we lost him, but now I have the strength to watch my guy Kobe, and he listen. He was a savant, not just of basketball, but of life. This guy was bigger than basketball, man. He left us so many gems that could help us in life succeed, right? So I recommend everybody not just to watch this podcast, go out, watch some clips of Kobe speaking. Kobe giving us those life gems, those nuggets that really you can apply to yourself. Because the best way to emulate success is learning from success, listening to success, and getting better from it, right? Like, why would I listen to somebody who, is good for nothing out there on the streets, just doing no good, up to no good, right? I'm going to end up like them, right? You are who you hang out with. I rather listen to greatness and learn from greatness. RC, my boy said, use the hate plus disrespect as fuel and fire to shine. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. When people hate on me, I go out and start planning for the next 10 videos. You know what I'm saying? That's really how my brain works. I never stop working, right? Never. Yeah, 21K is really nice, man. Like, I didn't consider myself a YouTuber till I reached 20K. A lot of people were like, oh, you're a star already, Dan, this, and that. I still don't think I'm a star, right? I'm just like you guys, a die-hard fan. Is just the difference is that I put in the work, right? And so a lot of people don't, right? But that's fine, right? Some people will just, they want to do something more than others, right? So look, I didn't consider myself a YouTuber till I hit 20K. And I remember it was weird for me going to the mall and having pictures taken with me. But I was grateful for the opportunities. I was grateful for that, to meet you guys. It was just amazing. And I still am. Like, I'm never gonna, like, it's never not gonna be different for me, right? But I did visualize it. I'm not gonna lie. I visualized it a long time ago. So this is all part of the plan, right? And again, no self-doubt. Got that out of my head in elementary school. I told you guys when. And from that moment on, I learned my lesson, man. Never lose an opportunity. Closed mouths do not get fed, ladies and gentlemen. Ask questions. You're at work, you don't know how to do something, you're afraid that you're going to do it wrong, but you don't want to ask your boss because you want to seem like you're reliable. Listen, I promise you the boss will rather you ask that question and do things the right way than to mess something up. I promise you, right? So always ask questions, always learn. You can even ask me questions. I don't mind answering them at any time, right? Knowledge is power, baby. We could share that knowledge. We can all get up, each and every single one of us. All right, my guy said, I'm in education and there are more ways to learn than traditional way to learn in school. I agree. Listen, my street smarts, man, growing up in Compton, I'm street smart as well as book smarts. And it's good if you combine both. You combine both of them, you're gonna get far, man. Because a lot of people are book smart, but they are not aware of what's really popping or how to connect with people because they don't have that. They don't have that people skills. I was blessed to have that because of where I grew up. Compton, California, 310 West Corregidor, man, Park Village. I grew up, man, in a neighborhood where all the neighbors knew each other, right? We knew Miss Rose over there on the right, you know, friends and family members and people we used to go to church with on the left. Like, you literally knew everybody in your block, right? When I moved to the Inland Empire, it was different. Everybody out here was in their shell, way more quiet. Neighbors, sometimes some would wave, some wouldn't. Now they all know me. They all say what's up. But when I first moved here, it was very different, man. Having people skills is, like, I think that's just as good as having a bachelor's degree, because I'll tell you, when you meet amazing people in your life, they can help you so much, man. I'm not just talking about personal gain. I'm talking about mental, like teaching you. And I'm talking about experience wise, right? It's not about, it's not always about what you know, it's about who you know as well. So, oh man, there's just so many nuggets. This episode could go on for so long. I'll probably extend it to the 45-minute mark because we're having a good conversation right now. But these only usually go for 30 minutes because I want everybody to tap in. Christian said, Dan, you just made my day. Appreciate that, man. I'm glad you made my day by saying that. He said, now we going 1,000. We going harder than anyone else. I'm glad you accepted me on the team. Of course, brother. Hey, man, listen, it's a blessing, man, to have your support in this manner, man, because you just hit me up. It wasn't the other way around. And I'm somewhat of a lone wolf in the sense that when I work, I like to do things for myself, and usually I just grab thumbnails and customize it myself. But you saved me so much time when you hooked me up like that, because man, I do appreciate it. Thank you so much, bro. And I'm glad I can make your day because you always make my day. Craig said, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Smarter people than you have already figured it out. He said, Warren Buffett example. Facts. Keeping it simple sometimes takes you further in life as well, right? But remember that the name of the episode is self-doubt, removing self-doubt, because that is the number one step to anyone's goal, right? So it can even apply to women, right? A lot of women, men and women both, we can be insecure, and that can stop us, right? Insecurities are self-doubt, like reincarnated. Your insecurities can stop you from doing what you want in life, right? Like I've seen some people that like if they do YouTube and they get a pimple, they won't even want to come out on camera. You know what I'm saying? Like that can stop you. The littlest thing can stop you. But somebody who doesn't give a damn about the little things, it just takes you so much further in life. I tweeted about this. There's always going to be obstacles in life. And the more you let them get to you, the more it seems like they compound and they add on, right? But when you have a good vibe and a good energy, can nothing stop you, right? Like I got a flat tire a couple months ago. My shorty was like, oh man. And I was like, don't worry about it. We're going to go swap it out. So, and I didn't have the right tools. I used the custom L that I had on the back of my car. Swap the tire. Just go to the really quick. Not gonna make it a bigger deal than it is. It is what it is. Everybody catches a flat, right? Same month, different tire on the freeway just blew out. I had my family with me. Thankfully, nothing happened. Just pull over to the right shoulder, and then this one guy, man, he came through, man, really dope. And I guess the service that the city gives is they help out people for free. And yeah, he basically changed the tire for me, the spare, while I pulled my family out to the side. That way, nothing crazy happens in the freeway. And so, but see, my point of telling you guys these stories is that things always happen. And there's two ways you can approach it. You can be like, oh man, you can play victim, right? Everything bad always happens to me. I had to go home and do a live stream. Like my brain wanted to go in that direction. But I was like, screw it. It happens. Shit happens. You keep marching forward. You don't worry about it. I've had guests, important guests on this channel before, and something happened to my car that I had to do something, and my back was hurting, and I had to run in to make it in time for the live stream. I have to apologize. I'm running a little late. Hands all dirty. I washed them, feeling like crap. Still did the live stream, and it came out amazing, man. So just set your mind to positive mode. No matter what negative things happen to you or your loved ones, if you bring that positivity and that good energy, the solution will be like this, like that. But if you play victim and you complain and you bitch about everything, then all of a sudden that little problem can balloon and look way bigger than it needs to be, right? So that's all part of self-doubt. When that negativity starts creeping into your mind, those are doubts that are coming in here like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore because look what happened. Or, oh, maybe, you know what I'm saying? That negativity got to go, man. And I've told people who have been negative around me, like, keep that shit away from me because I'm trying to be positive in life. Can't nothing stop me, man. Nothing can stop you. So all praise to the Most High. But yeah, this work ethic, man, I think the bean. I think Kobe, man, because I learned so much from him, right? I appreciate that, Michael. Hey, you have said this, bro, and that's pretty dope. I might put that in one of my rap verses, man. Shout out to Michael for that. That'll be credit to you right there, man. The West best. He said the West kept secret. I love that. My boy said, bro, I'm cooked. Did the Celtics make a comeback? I've been talking mad shit on the net. It's all good, man. It's a part of being a fan. You just got to own up to it. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You own up to it. Can't nobody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's going to pull your fan card from you, bro. Don't worry about what people are going to say. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Remove that doubt. Heat going to win tonight, I hope, right? And if they do, you don't got to worry about that. But even if they lose and Boston makes it to the finals, what are they going to say? Your favorite team has 17 championships. They can't really say nothing to hurt you. Now, if you were a Clipper fan, you know, RIP, bro. that's you on the net. Like, they're gonna roast your ass. But you're a Laker fan, man. What's the worst they could say about us? There's not really anything impactful at all they could say. Yeah, me too. Listen, I've always wanted Boston to get eliminated early in the playoffs. I had my sneaky suspicions, and I mentioned it on this channel many times. I think the league is trying to set up Boston for number 18. Right? They're homers. They love Boston. Don't ask me why. Right? But let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens moving forward. I really hope Jimmy Buckets could pull off a fatality and rip the hearts out of every single Boston Celtic fan at the Garden tonight. That would be amazing if he like make them think they were going to win 4 in a row, and then he prevents that horrible history from happening. They would be the first team ever to come back down from 0-3. So we don't want Boston's name etched in history, right? So let's pull it off, man. I really hope Miami. I hope Jimmy Buckets. If there's one guy, like I said to start the stream, there's one guy that can do it. It is Jimmy Buckets, man. He almost did it the last game, right? He hit a 3, then he had an and 1 attacking the rim. Then he got fouled for 3 free throws, made all 3 of them. That was like 9 straight points to put his team up by 1 when they were down 8. And then tragedy happened. But that's the way it is in the NBA sometimes, man. There was so many controversies about the shot clock and all this and all of that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Oh, man. RC Cover said, yeah, Dan, since I started being a YouTuber and talking basketball leagues, I have the set time aside to do recording and editing. Don't let it take away from my kids or my girl. And I'm proud of you, man, because people don't understand how hard that is to balance everything out. People don't understand. It's really hard to listen. I balance my family, my girl, my friendships, YouTube. I rarely even have time to game. I used to love gaming when I was younger. I rarely have time, man. But I've even done that on the stream. So you got to balance stuff, right? And it's like, it's all about your work ethic, because anybody could just say, I don't feel like making a video right now. I'm just going to sit back and watch a show. And I wouldn't blame you for it. Once in a while, that's fine. But, you know, say, how bad do you want it? You know, that show's not going anywhere. That Netflix and chill is not going anywhere, man. You can put that to the side. You can come make your video, put it out, publish it. Then you can go Netflix and chill or whatever you do on your free time, right? Craig, my guy, you're absolutely right, man. Negative people will drag you down in life. You do get rid of them. That is the key right there. Even if it's, I hate to say it, man, but even if it's negative family members, listen, they can come back into your life once they change their attitude, okay? That's on them. But you want to stay positive? Stay positive. Protect your energy. We've talked about this already. All right, let's answer this question by Jasper. What if I have arrogant and show off people around me? I mean, arrogant, cocky, do they back it up? Because if they don't and they're all talk, then you best get to walking, man. But if they're like, there's nothing wrong with being a little arrogant and a little cocky as long as they back it up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little arrogant and cocky. When I go to the basketball court, I talk shit, but I back it up, right? I love it, man. I got stories for days. Look, my little nephew, there was this kid. He thought he was Kyrie, right? And so I'm sitting there on the sidelines scouting him, telling my little nephew, look, he don't like to go right? He uses his left hand for everything. And he doesn't seem like he can shoot. But he's getting all these fancy layups and these passes off. I said, play him loose defense. Like, cut him off at the paint, but don't let him drive, right? Basically, give up the mid to 3-point shot and then contest at the very end once he commits to the shot. And he was so frustrated. He started fouling us. He started slapping us. He even clocked my brother right in the chin. That kid was mad because I called this game and I was like, and after that, guess what? They lost. We won. And my nephew clamped him up. He didn't, I think maybe he had one bucket. But yeah, it's okay to be cocky and arrogant, but you got to back it up, right? Which team do you think will end up taking Scoot Henderson? That's a great question. Look, Scoot Henderson might end up being the best player in this draft. Yeah, I said it. A lot of people don't want to say it, but it all depends on Victor Wembanyama's health. If he's healthy, then by far he could be the best one. But Scoot Henderson, talent-wise, is amazing, right? Reminds me a little bit of Kyrie. You know, he has a mixture of guards and a little bit of John Wall, players like that. Now, here's the thing. He could go number 2, but they already have LaMelo, a primary ball handler, right? So he doesn't fit there. But sometimes teams pass on the better players, and they end up regretting it later. The Golden State Warriors drafted James Wiseman over LaMelo because they already had a ton of guards. Imagine had they drafted LaMelo. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to draft for fit, right? If you really need something else. And that other kid, you know, the 6'9" wing guy, he's not bad. But I don't know if I pass it on Scoot Henderson, man. I don't know. Honestly, even if he doesn't fit, right? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to pass on him. Somebody might regret it, but he could end up going 3rd. I've been hearing rumors that the 3rd pick might get traded. I mean, he can go 3rd or 4th. You never know. Sometimes players slip in the draft, but I like Scoot a lot. I liked him since I saw his game first, and I can't wait to see what he continues doing. But anyways, guys, going to wrap it up for this episode, man. Listen, I'm a chatterbox, man. I could keep going on and on and on. And I love talking with you guys. So thank you guys for tapping into episode 8, man. You know, and of course, there will be an episode 9 most likely tomorrow. But I am dropping that draft video, man, of my top 5 picks. And you guys know I'm pretty much a prophet when it comes to scouting these young, talented players. So let's see if the Lakers end up picking one of the guys I will be putting out in my video tomorrow. And it's not going to be a live stream. It's going to be a video set. So just hopefully you guys like it. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you already haven't, and keep it locked for all things Lakers. And as you can see, so much more. So remember, no self-doubt. Get that shit out of your mind and keep marching forward. That way you get to your ultimate goal, man. I appreciate you guys. Much love. Have a great rest of your day.